and wish them fruitful engagements and enjoyable stay in our beautiful country. I also wish to allow the Honorable Major Bashir to lead the House into welcoming them. Major Bashir, you have...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also wish to take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President of the Somali region of Ethiopia and his delegation. You are most welcome to Kenya and this Parliament. I'm sure your engagement with Kenyans will make prosperity for both our countries. And we wish you all the best as you stay and make engagements with fellow Kenyans and fellow lawmakers. Most importantly, you know, Kenya and Ethiopia have a good relationship over the years, and we expect the same to continue. Honorable Speaker, in the near future, the Kenya government is also engaging to tap power from that side so that Mandera can get connected to the grid. And so we appreciate that that power line will pass through the region and pass our regards to His Excellency, the President. You are most welcome.
Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I also would like to join Honorable Bashir in welcoming the Vice President of the Region 5 of the Somali region, Mr. Speaker of Ethiopia. Mr. Speaker, Ethiopia is the next frontier of business. And as you know, we have a long border with the Ethiopian country. Mr. Speaker, for those of us who traveled to Addis Ababa, the others who went just because of that AU elections, Mr. Speaker, they have seen how Addis Ababa has changed. Addis Ababa now is the new Dubai of Africa, Mr. Speaker. We have a lot of lessons to learn from that country on how they have developed that city to a modern city, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, that city grew in less than 10 years to what it is, Mr. Speaker. If you can walk in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when we were there, Mr. Speaker, in that city without any fear of your security, of your belongings or anything, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, instead of doing a benchmarking in Europe or America or anywhere else in the world or in Singapore or wherever you want to go, Mr. Speaker, we need to do a benchmarking on how to develop a city in Addis Ababa, Mr. Speaker. This is also a country with a population of 100 million people. Investors from Kenya have gone there, led by Safaricom. Mr. Speaker, the Safaricom has 30 million clients, for example, in Kenya. In 5 years, they have gotten 20 million customers in Ethiopia in 5 years. And here, in 20 years, they got 30 million people. Mr. Speaker, we want to urge the Ethiopian government to open up their financial sector so that Kenyans can go and invest there and Ethiopians can come and invest there. Mr. Speaker, that is going to be the biggest economy in Africa in the next 5 years. And I want to congratulate the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, for the good work he's doing in that country, as much as Kenya is also doing, and I want to invite them to join the East African community so that trade can be seamless between Kenya and Ethiopia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a country that has not been colonized ever in their life, so they know what freedom is. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge, as Kenya, we have a port through the Lapset, the Lamu, South Sudan corridor. Mr. Speaker, that port should be dedicated to the Ethiopian country of 130 million people, because that port is going to serve the Ethiopian people the way they want it, and we should give it to them, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, Ethiopia has the cheapest electricity in Africa, and God has put us as their neighbors. Mr. Speaker, we should import from that country a lot of electricity because electricity is expensive in our country. With those few remarks, I want to welcome the delegation from Ethiopia, led by the Vice President, that this is your second home. You can come here anytime you feel like. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to break the monotony so that it doesn't look like this delegation is being welcomed by only members from the Somali region in Kenya. Although Honorable Junet, the leader of minority, is a Luo Somali. is officially...
Yes, Junet, what is it?
Mr. Speaker, you know this is a house of record. And I think somebody has sent the majority leader to destroy my political career. Mr. Speaker, I am a Somali by birth, but I have ceased to be one long time ago politically. So please, be careful.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was correcting only that he did listen, that although he was born a Somali, he is a Luo. He's an assimilated Luo and naturalized Luo. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, also to welcome this delegation from Somaliland. And as Honorable Bashir and the leader of minority have said, from the Somali region in Ethiopia, that to re-emphasize what they have already said, that Ethiopia remains a very critical partner to our nation. And Honorable Speaker, not just in terms of trade in the issues that the Honorable Junet has spoken to, but also in food security. Ethiopia is not just giving us cheap power, but also helping us with food security, Honorable Speaker. Almost 50% of the beans that we consume in this country comes from Ethiopia. And a bit of wheat and barley that comes from Ethiopia. And definitely, Honorable Speaker, even meat, because I'm a trader in meat, there's a lot of beef cattle that comes from Ethiopia and finds its way to our dinner tables in this country. And as we welcome this delegation, we want to request you to continue deepening and tightening the relationship between our country and your country. And as much as we compete on the athletics field, that we compete, and when we win, cheers as much as we cheer you when you win on the athletics field. But it is possible to integrate our region and grow together, grow our economies together. Safaricom, that is a Kenyan company, is doing well in Ethiopia, and as the leader of minority has requested, we would pray to a time when you completely open up the financial services sector in your country to allow even fintechs, because Kenya is a home of technology. Kenya is a home of very innovative young men and women who can invest in your country, and we look forward to the opening up of your economy to get more fintechs and people investing in the financial service sector in the Ethiopian economy. Because being a big country with a huge population, it has a very good potential of creating a good market for Kenyan businesses, and also the same way that your farmers are benefiting from the Kenyan economy in a big way. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I welcome that delegation.
Para. 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I join my colleagues in welcoming the delegation from the Somali region of Ethiopia. Mr. Speaker, it's now 60 plus years since we got independence. And more important than anything else is the need for us to have a people-to-people integration. And the only way to do that is for the countries in the region to open up, so that this potential that essentially extends all the way from Sudan, Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti, Kenya, Ethiopia, and the wider East Africa. Mr. Speaker, can you protect me from Junet and his colleagues here? Junet. Mr. Speaker.
Order, you're out of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are looking at that kind of an economy. We are looking at an economy that is probably the size of Europe, both in terms of population and in terms of resources. And once we are all able to open up all those countries, about 11 of them, and then create what we call both we remove all the tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade and movement. We also have a democracy in all those countries and systems in which we can relate to one another. I think we will consign poverty and underdevelopment in Africa to history. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
I am also promoting that, and I want to see the wider integration of the Horn of Africa and the East African community. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll stop there. Allow me, honorable members, to also acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery, Kwale Girls High School from Matuga in Kwale, Iku Girls High School from Chuka, Igambangombe, Tharaka Nithi, and in the public gallery, Othaya Boys High School from Othaya, Nyeri, and Kangema Boys High School from Kangema in Muranga. I have been requested by Honorable Masito the women rep for Kwale to welcome the school from her county, and you can do so with all the schools on behalf of your colleagues.
Basi nishukuru sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na niwashukuru wanafunzi wote ambao wameweza kufika katika bunge hili la kitaifa leo hii kuweza kujionea au kusoma mambo ambayo yanaendelea katika bunge hili na wabunge wao vile wanavyofanya kazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la kutia moyo ukiona vijana wadogo hao wamejikakamua kutoka sehemu tofauti tofauti, lakini kuhakikisha wanataka kujua yale yanayosibu au yale yanayoendelea, na kuona wajumbe wao wakati wanatengeneza sheria ambazo zinawahusu wao na zinahusu taifa hili. Wanafunzi, niwaambie kupitia kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, ni elimu peke yake ndio itaweza kutofautisha au kuweka sawa maisha ya mtoto wa kimaskini na mtoto wa kitajiri. Muzidi kutia bidii kwa sala la elimu. Hakuna kitu chengine ambacho kitawafaa. Hakuna urathi wengine ambao kama wazazi tutawaachia nyinyi watoto isipokuwa elimu. Niseme karibuni sana katika bunge hili, na karibuni Kanairo. Huko kunaitwa Kanairo. Ukifika huku hausemi Nairobi, unasema Kanairo. Kwa hivyo karibuni sana, na niseme asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Kanairo.
Thank you, Masito. On my behalf and on behalf of the House,
We welcome all the students and those accompanying them and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think this is my first time to appear in this House this year, and I want to wish everybody a happy parliamentary year.
Very good.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 17th February 2026. A, the legal notice number 4 of 2026 relating to the consolidated music and audiovisual works tariffs, the report on the public participation and the certificates of compliance with the Statutory Instruments Act 2013 from the Minister of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. B, Auditor General's report on national government for the financial year 2024-2025. C, Auditor General's report on the national government funds for the financial year 2024-2025. D, Intergovernmental Partnership Agreement between national government through the Minister of Education and County Government of Kwale. E, Intergovernmental Partnership Agreement between national government through the Minister of Education and the County Government of Tana River. And F, reports of the Auditor General financial statements on the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for the year 30th June 2025 in the certificates therein in respect of the following constituencies. 1, Aina Moi, Baringo Central, Bobasi, Bomachoga Chache, Bomet Central, Bomet East, Bonchari, Borabu, Budalangi, Chepalungu, Chesumei, Embakasi Central, Embakasi South, Embakasi West, Engwen, Edebes, Funyula, Gatundu South, Gilgil, Isiolo South, Jomvu, Juja, Kabete, Kabondo Kasipul, Kaloleni, Kandui, Kasipul, Kapseret, Karachuonyo, Kasarani, Keyo North, Keyo South, Kuresoi North, Keses, Kikuyu, Kipkelion West, Kirinyaga Central, Kisumu Central, Kisumu East, Kitui Rural, Kitui South, Kitutu Chache North, Kitutu Masaba, Kwanza, Laisamis, Lari, Likoni, Luanda, and at number 50, Lunga Lunga. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay. Thank you very much.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Public Petitions Committee. Karemba.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopt the report of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of a public petition number 76 of 2023 regarding discrimination by the Teachers Service Commission on career progression guidelines for special needs education teachers in Kenya, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 19th November 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Committee on Delegated Legislation, Vice Chair Gishimu.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the privileges and immunities, the Global Center for Adaptation Order published as a legal notice number 82 of 2025, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th December 2025, and declares that the privileges and immunities, the Global Center for Adaptation under legal notice number 82 of 2025, nullity for failing to comply with Section 17 of the Privileges and Immunities Act, Cap 175, that requires the regulating making authority to submit the draft order for approval by Parliament before publication of the order, and infringing on Article 94, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution relating to the principles, and Section 13A of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A. I beg to give notice of motion, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairperson, Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee. Who is the chair of that committee? Mulyungi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to move the following motions, 6 of them on the floor of the House. Number 1, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 7th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board for the financial years 2016-17 to 2021-22, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday.
Order.
On Tuesday.
Mulyungi, order. You read every word as printed.
Yes.
No shortcuts.
For the financial years 2016-17 to 2021-22, laid
You
on
are
the...
out of order. Read every word as printed.
That's
what I have.
Okay. Maybe,
what I have reads
maybe,
2016-2017, 2017-2018, 2018-2019, in that order.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 2016-2017, 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 2nd of December, 2025.
You've skipped 2020-2021.
2020-2021, 2021-2022.
Yes.
Next. Number 2, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 8th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the National Government Affirmative Action Fund for the financial years 2016-2017, 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 2nd of December, 2025. Number 3, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 9th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the National Government Constituency Development Fund for constituencies in Nakuru County for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, 2015/2016, 2016/2017, 2017/2018, 2018/2019, 2019/2020, 2020/2021, 2021/2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 2nd of December 2025. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 10th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for Lari, Lurambi, Embakasi Central, Kilifi North, and the Muvita constituencies for the financial years 2016/2017, 2017/2018, 2018/2019, 2019/2020, 2020/2021, 2021/2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 2nd of December 2025. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 11th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for West Mugirango, Bobasi, Awendo, North Imendi, Kirinyaga Central, South Mugirango, Ugenya, Kieni, Kipipiri, Budalangi, and Kiaru constituencies for the financial years 2013/2014, 2014/2015, 2015/2017, 2017/2018, 2018/2019, 2019/2020, 2020/2021, 2021/2022, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th of December 2025. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the 12th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for constituencies in Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Baringo, and Bomet constituencies for the financial years 2013/2014, 2014/2015, 2015/2016, 2016/2017, 2017/2018, 2018/2019, 2019/2020, 2020/2021, 2021/2022, and 2022/2023, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 4th of December 2025. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mulyungi. Next.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Kandia, is it Kandia who has a statement? Member for Baringo Central. Kandia, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to provision of Standing Order 42C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the issuance of work permits to foreign nationals. Honorable Speaker, in this era of rapidly expanding international trade and integration of world economies, migration policies must be geared towards building and maintaining a fair opportunity platform for both nationals and foreigners, while protecting vulnerable groups and ensuring sustainable development of the local human resource, while expatriates contribute to the transfer of knowledge, investment, and skill development. It is imperative that their engagement in the local job market does not undermine employment opportunities for qualified Kenyan citizens, especially the youth. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, a report on the number of foreign nationals who have been issued with work permits in Kenya, indicating the duration of the work permits for the last 5 years. Second, a report on the status of all foreign nationals in Kenya whose permits have expired as at January 2026, and an indication of actions being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to identify, monitor, legally remove foreign nationals illegally working in the country following expiry of their permits. And three, the steps being taken by the ministry to ensure foreigners are not issued with work permits for skills that are readily available in the local labor force in order to reduce unemployment rate among Kenyans. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Tongoyo, that is your committee. When can you bring a response?
We can do in 2 weeks' time, Honorable Speaker. This is some of the statements that lapsed were asked in the 4th session.
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 weeks is enough.
Okay, next. First call out order number 9. We dispose of the question.
Order number 9, the Industrial Training Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 50 of 2024, second reading. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Take your seats. Member for Muhoroni, take your seat. Phyllis Barto, take your seat, the nearest to you. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9, which is that the Industrial Training Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 50 of 2024, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Industrial Training Act and for connected purposes.
Next.
Order number 8, procedural motion, extension of a period for consideration of 2 statutory instruments.
Gishimo.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, this House resolves to extend the period for consideration of the following statutory instruments by a period of 14 days with effect from 17 February 2026.
Order, Gishimo. Read the motion and move it as is listed on the order paper. There's a variance of what you are saying and what is on the order paper. Start afresh.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm well updated now. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Section 15, subsection 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, this House resolves to extend the period for consideration of the following statutory instruments by a period of 21 days with effect from 17th February 2026. 1, the Kenya Loans Board Fund Additional Funding Regulation 2025, legal notice number 156 of 2025, and 2, the National Police Service Commission Retirement and Appointment Regulations 2025, legal notice number 159 of 2025. Honorable Speaker, this is just a procedural motion to seek to extend the period for consideration of the two sets of regulations as listed. And Honorable Speaker, the first one on the Kenya Roads Bond Fund Additional Funding Regulation 2025 Legal Notice number 156 of 2025. Honorable Speaker, this is a matter that was scheduled for consideration before the committee today. And the CS responsible for matters transport and roads, CS Churchill, was meant to appear before the committee today. However, as it is a matter of common knowledge, there is an ongoing strike by the KCAA staff. And Honorable Member, that is a matter of great national importance and even great national security in terms of the flights. Honorable Speaker, that strike has even affected a number of members of this House because they were not able even to travel back to Nairobi from the constituency, including the chair of the Committee on Delegated Legislation. And Honorable Speaker, we felt that it is important to seek approval of this House for the extension of the period for us to be able, as a committee, to consider that set of regulation. Honorable Speaker, the second set of regulation, it's also a matter of common knowledge and judicial notice that there has been a case involving the National Police Service and some other people in respect of the regulations for recruitment and appointments. And Honorable Speaker, today, having been the last day to consider the matters, and having been the very first day that we came from, or resumed from the recess, and also considering that there were changes in the leadership of the clerks of the committees, this is the only day that we are able to resume, and we are not able to consider these regulations. Honorable Speaker, that is why we are also seeking this Honorable Court's approval for extension of the period so that we can consider these two very important sets of regulations, Honorable Speaker. And without belaboring the point, it's a very straightforward motion. It's a procedural motion, and I beg to move and request Honorable Member for Kadiani, Honorable Robert Bui, to second.
Hold on. What's the point of order, Bukosi?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know Honorable Kishimu, the Vice Chair, made a statement that the strike is still on. But I'm aware that the strike has ended and the operations have resumed. So I think the member needs to have been updated on that.
He said in the morning when the minister was supposed to appear before them,
yes,
he was engaged with the strike matters. The strike may be off now, but in the morning it wasn't.
But he needed to update that the strike is all off now.
Maybe
so
he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. How he's informed. Yes. Robert Mbui.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the procedural motion for extension of time for consideration of those two sets of regulations, because we just come from a long recess, and Mr. Speaker, the time between tabling and the consideration kind of lapsed when we were on recess. And so that we can do justice to these two regulations, it would make sense that we get a bit more time so that we can be able to address it. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you that within 2 weeks, we'll definitely have sorted out this matter. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I second.
Thank you. Order, members on their feet. Take your seats. Members on their feet, take your seats. Deputy Speaker, take your seats. Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 8, which is that Pursuant the provisions of Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, this House resolves to extend the period for consideration of the following statutory instruments by a period of 21 days with effect from 17th February 2026. 1. The Kenya Roads Board Fund, Additional Funding Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 156 of 2025. And 2, the National Police Service Commission Recruitment and Appointment Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 159 of 2025. Do we put the question? Yes. I'll now put the question, honorable members, at order number 8, which is that, pursuant to the provisions of Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, this House resolves to extend the period for consideration of the following statutory instruments by a period of 21 days with effect from 17th February 2026. 1. The Kenya Roads Board Fund, Additional Funding Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 156 of 2025, and 2, the National Police Service Commission Recruitment and Appointment Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 159 of 2025. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. With those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Before that, so rescind that call to order number 10. Yes, the Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I wanted to beg your indulgence on this order number 10 on the Committee of the Whole House, because there are quite a number of amendments that have been proposed to this judge's retirement bill, and which we have agreed with the Honorable Chair, Honorable Murugara, to just consolidate all those amendments and agree so that we do not have too many amendments that may negate the intent of this bill. And we have an agreement that we will be able to do that today and tomorrow, so that we finalize with this Committee of the Whole House on this bill before the end of this week. Therefore, I wanted your indulgence to drop this from the order paper today to a later time in the course of this week.
Murugara.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do confirm that is the position. We have quite a number of amendments proposed, and even another one is actually being worked on by the Secretariat, and we need just a little more time, and a day or two we'll have finalized, and we'll be able to prosecute the third reading of the bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I concede to the request and order that the matter be stayed and be placed on the order paper on Thursday this week in the afternoon sitting at 2:30. Try and finish up with what you are doing. Next.
Order number 11, the Energy Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 42 of 2023, second reading.
Before we go to that, Korere.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise on a point of order under the standing orders regarding the dishonorable remarks made by Honorable Member of Kitutu Chache South, the Honorable Anthony Kibagendi, MP, touching on the authority and impartiality of the Speaker and Presidium of this National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, the Speakership of this August House of Parliament, presently held by yourself, embodies the authority, dignity on the office of the Speaker, is not just attack on you, Honorable Speaker, but is indeed an attack on this House itself. Indeed, our standing orders and long-standing Commonwealth parliamentary tradition require that all members show utmost respect and honor to the chair. Failure to do so is not only detrimental to the dignity of the Presidium, but also undermines the order, decorum, and the credibility of the House and its proceedings. Honorable Speaker, it is despicable that, conscious of the revered position of the Speaker of the House, the Honorable Member for Kitutu Churches South, the Honorable Anthony Kibagendi MP, who in the course of his contributions made in platforms outside the floor of this house, made remarks that were disparaging to the office of the Speaker and the Presidium of this Honorable House. For the record, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Kibagendi made remarks to the effect that you, Honorable Speaker, have auctioned the House. These remarks are quite contemplatable, given that we all know very well that the Speaker presides over the House on the principle of impartiality and is guided by the rules of the House. Commonwealth traditions further, the decisions that the Speaker pronounces are not his, they are decisions made by the House, in which the Speaker neither has a say nor a vote. Honorable Speaker, I therefore seek your guidance and intervention on this matter, particularly on whether the Honorable Kibagendi ought to continue to sit in this House and in its committees, as he should be held accountable for his disparaging remarks. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think on the behalf of the members of Parliament, we want to just say that we take great exception of the words used and the statements made by Honorable Kibagendi while on Citizen TV this morning. I think he has acted in a disorderly manner. He has cast aspersions on the character of the Speaker, the character of the Deputy Speaker, and the character of the entire Presidium. He has also tried to ruin the name of Parliament.
Yes,
he has said things that he's unable to substantiate.
Order. Wanjala, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The issue the Honorable Member has raised is a very serious issue for somebody to disparage the Parliament in which he's in. I would ask the House, Mr. Speaker, I've looked around, I can't see Kibagendi.
He is there.
Oh, thank you. Proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Go on, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wanjala. Unlike Honorable Kibagendi, we don't cast aspersions on the character of someone or say things about a person when they are not present to be able to substantiate or to be able to defend themselves. The Right Honorable Speaker was not at Citizen TV. It was rather unfair and unbecoming of a member of Parliament to cast aspersions on the character of the Speaker without knowing that the Speaker, full well the Speaker, was not going to have an opportunity to defend himself. I think that is wrong, and if you ask me, Honorable Speaker, I think we should be asking that he be suspended from the House for the maximum period allowable, which is 28 days. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Mama Migori.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, on behalf of Kibagendi, I will apologize to this House. Unfortunately, the so-called Honorable Kibagendi is one man who never comes to this House. And even when he comes, he never even contributes. In actual sense, Kibagendi has no reason to be in this House, and his constituents should really be sympathetic to what they did by voting such a man who goes talking about the same Parliament that he doesn't even understand anything about. I have never heard this man contribute to anything to do with his constituents. But when he goes on TV, he wants to do showbiz. Honorable Kibagendi, I was elected by over 200,000 votes. You have no reason to go and tell other people that our house has been auctioned. I am here every day as a first-timer working so hard to contribute to my constituents and the country. But you can't go out there to do showbiz out of desperation and embarrass a house that has dignified members of Parliament.
Order, members. Order. Honorable members. Order. Donya, order. Honorable members, this is one case of what lawyers and judges would say, contempt in the face of the court. I happened to listen to this discourse this morning. There was Honorable Robert Mbui, the Honorable Madenge, and the Honorable Kibagendi. I was horrified to hear the things that Honorable Kibagendi said. That this house has been auctioned. I don't know where the auction ring was and who was holding the hammer. That this house is now an appendage to the executive, and the speaker and the deputy speaker have destroyed and ruined this house. Favor, prejudice, or ill will, and I've done so very diligently. I'm human. I could have made an erroneous ruling. I could have made a ruling that displeases anybody, but the rulings I make here are buttressed by the law. I may misinterpret the law, like many lawyers can do, but that is the right I have as your speaker. So for you, as a member of this house, first to say the house has been auctioned, then you have no business to sit in an auctioned house. So what, and this is not a matter I'm going to invite the member to explain himself, because I saw and heard with my own eyes and ears. So Honorable Kibagendi, you will be excluded from the sitting of this house until you bring a properly worded apology, not to me. I'm used to being insulted, to the house. To the house. For bringing the house in disrepute, and that apology should be delivered to the clerk. It will be looked at carefully. If the wording is acceptable, then it will be brought to the house and you will be allowed to come back to the house. For now, you are excluded from the proceedings of this house, the pressings of Parliament, the committee sittings, including your office in Parliament. Kibagendi, you are now a stranger in the house and in the presence of Parliament. Let the stranger leave the house first. Order, Kibagendi, you are now a stranger in the house. And in the presence of Parliament, Sergeant, ensure that he does not enjoy the facilities of Parliament, including an office provided by Parliament. Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, let me begin by thanking you for the action that you have just taken, Honorable Speaker, because as you have rightly put it, it is about the dignity of this House, not the person of the Speaker. It is not about Honorable Kibagendi as a member of Parliament or even as a person, but about the dignity of this House, Honorable Speaker. And I really want to plead with all of us. Honorable Speaker, if we read our own standing orders, Standing Order 107 and 107A, 107.1G clearly says that a member commits an act of disorderly conduct if the member makes allegations without adequate substantiation. Honorable Speaker, if you listen to what Honorable Kibagendi was saying on national TV this morning, he had no substantiation of how this House has been auctioned, and even saying very disparaging things about the Deputy Speaker, who in any case was supposed to be in that show, or rather on that show, together with the Honorable Robert Mbui. Honorable Kibagendi is having his first term. He has only been in this House for 2 years, and I must agree with the member for Migori County. The member has never brought a single motion, has never proposed a single bill, and has never in any manner contributed meaningfully to any debate in this House. The best Honorable Kibagendi will do is to be disruptive of other members when they are making very substantive contributions to meaningful business. And I honestly sympathize with his constituents. Because when I look at even NGCDF reports, this is one of the most mismanaged constituencies in this country. Therefore, when you find a member disparaging a House he sits in, and indeed I looked at him, Honorable Speaker, and I couldn't help sympathize with the member because he had a lot of misplaced anger. And you could tell he has misplaced anger. And that misplaced anger is not with the House. It is with your own performance as a member of Parliament. Honorable Robert Mbui, who was seated on that show, is serving his third term. And I was praying Honorable Robert Mbui would advise him, and I hope you did, Honorable Robert, after the show, that it serves you no good as a first-time member of Parliament to disparage and indignify the House that you sit in, hoping or assuming that it will cure other inadequacies that maybe you may have as a member of Parliament in your own constituency or out there, that it serves you better when you dignify the House. Because in this House, when you have experienced members like Robert Mbui, like the Deputy Speaker who is also serving her third term now, they are more likely to advise you on how even to conduct affairs in your own constituency other than disparaging. I know the Honorable Deputy Speaker was saying to have fear to appear on the show. And in fact, if you listen, you hear the anchor, the news anchor, or the host of that show correcting him and telling him he even has an apology from the Deputy Speaker because she was tied up in Eldoret and was on the road driving because of the unfortunate strike by KCA officers. And I know there are many members, including our chair of the Jailer Committee, who are stuck in Eldoret. I know Honorable Samuel Boroto has told me this morning he could not make it because he was also on the road. He missed his flight and they were stuck in Eldoret for some time. And therefore, the things Honorable Kibagendi was saying should not be excusable for any member, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, this is a matter, it is good that you have taken action because I wanted to ask the Honorable Sarah Korere to move that we name Honorable Kibagendi and we commit him to the Powers and Privileges Committee. But Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank you because I'll be raising another issue tomorrow. Because in your standing as Speaker, you have done what is right to protect the dignity of this House. Because, Honorable Speaker, whenever a matter is raised, whether it is in committee, in the House, or outside the House, that touches on our dignity, it is all of us collectively, Honorable Speaker. You know, when you hear people are collecting money here and left, right, and center out there, and we do not take a position as a House, then we all stand accused, Honorable Speaker. when we are said to have been auctioned, Honorable Speaker, you know, serious people like Senior Counsel Otiende Omolo, can you imagine now who would auction Otiende Omolo? Who would auction TJ Kajwang? Or an elder like Professor Nyikal, a man who sits through this house from 2:30 to 7 p.m. at times to midnight, when Anthony Kibagendi, who is younger and who is more resilient, to sit for hours, hardly sits in this house for 30 minutes. So even when the house was being auctioned, where were you, Honorable Kibagendi? And he should be ashamed of himself, Honorable Speaker. And if he does not apologize, Honorable Speaker, in a manner that is acceptable to the House, Honorable Speaker, we must take more decisive action on the Honorable Kibagendi. Yes, we must take into our powers and privileges committee, Honorable Speaker. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I must say it is very embarrassing and shameful for Honorable Kibagendi to have done what he did.
Take your seat.
And thank you, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable
for
members,
dignifying this House.
Those who may wish to comment on this will do so when the apology comes. But what I want to encourage you members, there are members in this House, such as TJ Kajwang, James Nyikal, the elders. Bukose is approaching that level, Raso, Rindikiri, Murugara, and others, who sit in this House from 2:30, sometimes to 9 p.m., participating in debates. And when you go out there and besmirch the House, don't think that your own character is safe. The moment you say the House is auctioned, you are part of the auctioned material. Try and conduct ourselves with decorum. You know, when you go to TVs, know that the whole world is watching. Your wife is watching, your children are watching, your husband is watching, your constituents are watching. We are all watching. And you are privileged to be 290 members out of 56 million to represent the people of Kenya. So you carry enormous responsibility on behalf of our people. How you conduct yourself? 349. I was talking of the constituencies. Minus, sorry, Cynthia, I forgot that we have 47 women members of parliament. And there are some very young members of parliament here who I sit in my chamber and I see them participating in debate very meaningfully. Gisairo here is a first-timer. I see his production. Cynthia Muge here and others who are first-timers, but you can see substance. That I haven't mentioned you doesn't mean that I've excluded you. You are all extremely good people. I want to urge the seniors, Kina TJ and others, mentor these young members of parliament so that the moment you see a camera and a TV screen, you get excited and take leave of what is reasonable. That is not good for this House. And as long as I'm your speaker, I'll protect your dignity and the dignity of the House. I leave it there. Next. Yes, Gikaria, your order has been called. Are you ready to move? Members, Honorable Gikaria says he is requesting, go and put it on record. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to ask for a leave that we are not ready because we are just from report writing on the field development plan. If I could be given an opportunity tomorrow in the morning or in the afternoon, I'll be able to execute that.
Request granted. Next order.
Thank you.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of a petition regarding pollution of River Athi.
Karemba, you are ready? Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the following motion, that this House adopt the report of the Public Petitions Committee on Public Petition number 11 of 2022 regarding pollution of River Athi. Honorable Speaker, the role of oversight of our public affairs is a core mandate of the National Assembly as stipulated under the Constitution of Kenya 2010. In fulfillment of this constitutional duty, the Public Petitions Committee is mandated under Standing Orders 208A to B to consider all public petitions presented tabled in the House. The public petitions number 11 of 2022, presented by Honorable Vincent Musyoka, MP, member for Mwala constituency, raised serious concerns regarding the sustained pollution of River Athi and its devastating environmental and socio-economic impact on the communities downstream. The petitioner specifically sought an inquiry, enforcement of the environmental laws, a comprehensive restoration plan, and a framework for compensation to the affected communities. Honorable Speaker, the committee undertook a comprehensive examination of the petition. We received oral and written submissions from various stakeholders, including 1, the petitioners, 2, Water Resource Authority, 3, Tana and Athi Rivers Development Authority, TADA, the County Government of Machakos, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry and National Environment Management Authority, Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, Export Processing Zone Authority, and Ministry of Interior and National Administration. To gain a practical understanding of the situation, the committee also conducted extensive site visits to the critical areas along the River Athi, both upstream in Mlolongo, Mavoko, and Athi River, EPZA, and downstream in Kiukuni, Ikalasa Ward, Mwala constituency. These submissions and field observations formed the basis of the committee's findings and recommendations as outlined in the report. Honorable Speaker, having considered all submissions, site visits, reports, and issues for determination, the committee made several key observations and recommendations. And they are as follows. The committee observed that the population of the River Athi is a profound national crisis, largely driven by the following. The River Athi is severely polluted, particularly from its upstream sections, flowing through the industrial zones like Athi River and Mlolongo, with a discharge of raw and poorly treated industrial effluent and domestic sewerage. This pollution has rendered the river water unsafe, and human and livestock consumption, as well as irrigation, especially in the downstream areas of Mwala constituency. 2, there is systemic failure by the key environmental and water regulatory agencies, including the National Environment Management Authority and the Water Resources Authority, to effectively enforce the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, EMCA, and the Water Act. This is evidenced by the continuous illegal discharge of effluent into the river, suggesting a breakdown in the regulatory oversight and compliance monitoring. 3, the lack of adequate and functional common effluent treatment plants and insufficient sewer networks in the industrial and densely populated areas surrounding the river's tributaries are primary contributors to the pollution load. Existing infrastructure, where present, is often overwhelmed or dilapidated. The pollution has caused significant public health concerns, including outbreaks of waterborne diseases, and has severely impacted the livelihoods of communities downstream who rely on river for economic activities like farming, fishing, and livestock rearing. This is a notable lack of cohesive, multi-agency approach between the national government, ministries of water and environment, regulatory bodies like NEMA and WRA, and county governments, and that is Machakos County, in addressing the pollution crisis. And Honorable Speaker, these are the committee's key recommendations. In light of the observations made, the committee makes the following recommendations to the relevant state organs for action. 1. To the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, NEMA and WRA. NEMA and WRA Water Resources Authority shall immediately compel all identified industrial and commercial polluters to cease the discharge of untreated effluent into the River Athi and its tributaries within 30 days of the adoption of this report by the House. Non-compliant facilities must be shut down and legal action initiated against the appropriators. NEMA and Water Resources Authority shall establish a permanent integrated multi-agency surveillance team to continuously monitor effluent discharge quality along the river basin. The team shall submit quarterly compliance reports to the National Assembly. To the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation and Waterworks Development Agencies shall expedite the planning, funding, and construction of adequate and modern common effluent treatment plants and complete the expansion of sewer networks in the Athi River /Mlolongo Industrial Cluster to ensure all the sewage and industrial effluent is treated before disposal. The ministry shall allocate adequate resources towards rehabilitation of dilapidated water and sewerage infrastructure that contributes to overflow and pollution. 3, to the National Treasury and the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, the National Treasury, in conjunction with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration and the County Government of Machakos, shall develop a framework for compensation and remedial measures for the communities in Mwala constituency and other affected areas whose health and livelihoods have been irreversibly harmed by the chronic pollution of River Athi. The National Treasury shall allocate specific funds within the next financial year for the execution of a comprehensive River Athi ecological restoration program as formulated by the Ministry of Environment. To the County Government of Machakos, the County Government shall enforce strict adherence to solid waste management regulations and ensure that the solid waste is not disposed of on the river, near the river or its banks. Honorable Speaker, I wish to express the committee's gratitude to the petitioners and all stakeholders for the invaluable input which enabled the committee to compile this crucial report. I also extend my sincere appreciation to your office and the office of the Clerk of the National Assembly, and I further thank the honorable members of the Public Petitions Committee
Honorable Speaker.
Member for Yatta, Honorable Robert Basil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The reason why I actually stand to support this particular petition is one, the river cuts through Yatta. And actually, if you look at Athi River, is one of the backbone in terms of source of water for irrigation for my community. And not Yatta alone, the entire Ukambani, all the way to Indian Ocean, Madam Speaker. So when we talk of pollution into that particular river, Madam Speaker, in principle, we are curtailing source of livelihood for so many households, so many people, Madam Speaker. And the source of this pollution comes from one, from the sewerage discharge, Madam Speaker. It also comes from industrial discharge, Madam Speaker. It also comes from agricultural runoff, Madam Speaker. And if you look at the source of pollution, it is very clear they are related or the risk, Madam Speaker. And we are talking of carcinogenic elements that could be into the water, Madam Speaker, from chemicals, from agricultural runoff, as well as industrial discharge, Madam Speaker. So importantly, Madam Speaker, there is also loss of aquatic life. We have so many aquatic animals in the river, Madam Speaker, even some which are in the ocean because the river drains all the way to the Indian Ocean, Madam Speaker. Therefore, it's important to promote self-irrigation, Madam Speaker, and that's why I raised to support the petition. And we also need to task NEMA, Madam Speaker, as well as Water Resource Authority, who are given the mandate to regulate the discharge or to regulate cleanliness when it comes to water, as well as environment in general, Madam Speaker. Additionally, Madam Speaker, we need to come up with legislation to promote proper sewerage treatment, which is happening globally. If you look at many countries, Madam Speaker, in the world, particularly progressive countries, Madam Speaker, they regulate sewer, or they do what sewer treatment, as well as regulation for any discharge that goes to the rivers, Madam Speaker. We also need to promote community-led cleaning into these rivers. We talk of kazi mitaani, among other temporary employment opportunities, which could be given the mandate to support cleanliness and the cleaning of these rivers, Madam Speaker. And then finally, we need to impose strong penalties so that we discourage people who actually discharge waste into our rivers, Madam Speaker. And those few remarks, I second this particular petition and the report from the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Banisa, Honorable Ahmed Hassan. He's not here? Okay. We can move to the next one. Honorable Member for Gadiani.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to also support this petition by the Honorable Member for Mwala. Madam Speaker, the importance of a healthy environment cannot be overemphasized because, I mean, it's a worldwide problem, and it's a conversation that is being discussed all over the world because it is actually a matter of concern not only to the current generation but also the future of mankind. And it is shocking that years after independence, we still are questioning the effectiveness of our authorities. Madam Speaker, we have NEMA, the National Environmental Management Authority. And Madam Speaker, the polluters of this Athi River are known. Madam Speaker, the laws against pollution exist. So my question would be, why is it that Kenyans are still suffering? You know, why is it Kenyans are still suffering? The same committee has said that it is an issue of implementation. So clearly, it means that there are people in Kenya that are sleeping on the job, people that are earning money from the taxpayer but are not doing what is expected of them so that these problems can be sorted out. Madam Speaker, the effect of this pollution is in a number of diseases. You know, the increase in diseases like cancer must obviously be related to this kind of pollution. Issues to do with skin ailments, issues to do with stomach ailments. So these are things that are a problem. But Madam Speaker, it's important to also try and figure out what solutions do we have. First, I've said that the authorities that are given that mandate must wake up and start doing their work. Madam Speaker, if you remember, when the late Mishuki was the Minister for Environment, he actually cleaned up Nairobi River. These are the kind of leaders we want, people that can be able to put on their boots and get out there and get things done. So we require to have leadership that can be able to make sure that there is no pollution that continues to exist in our rivers. But then, Madam Speaker, there is also a very important solution I wanted to propose. If you look at what has happened, and I think this is being implemented by the US government, when the issue of terrorism became a threat worldwide, they introduced a fund where the terrorists or the financiers of terrorism would have their money taken, and it is used to compensate victims of terrorism. Unfortunately, of course, Kenyan victims of the 1998 bomb blast in Cooperative Bank were never paid, other than the ones that own the businesses and the ones that were working in the embassy. The other innocent victims were never paid. But nevertheless, the ones that are American have been compensated. So, Madam Speaker, we need to consider the possibility of surcharging heavily those polluters of this river, so that the money can be used to compensate and pay those that have been victims of their recklessness. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I support the petition.
The Honourable Member for Banisa, Ahmed Hassan. Go to the mic next to you, the one on your, yes, that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's with profound sense of humility and immense gratitude that I rise today to address this esteemed Parliament for the first time as the duly elected member for Banisa constituency. I stand therefore before you, not just as Ahmed Maalim Hassan, but as a representative of the resilient people of Banisa, who have placed their trust and hope in me during the challenging period. Madam Speaker, my journey to this House is one steeped in both sorrow and renewed sense of purpose. I was elected in a by-election necessitated by the untimely and tragic passing of my dear brother, the late Kulo Maalim Hassan. His dedication to the public service and his unwavering commitment to the people of Banisa left an indelible mark. And his absence is deeply felt, not only by his family, but the entire constituency that he passionately served. I stand here today acutely aware of the large shoes that I have to fill, and I pledge to honor his legacy by striving for the betterment of our people with the same zeal and integrity he exemplified. Madam Speaker, to the constituents of Banisa, I extend my sincerest appreciation for the overwhelming mandate they have bestowed upon me. Your faith in my leadership, even amidst grief, has been a source of immense strength and inspiration. Madam Speaker, I campaigned on a platform of tangible development and progressive change, and I stand here today to reaffirm my unwavering commitment to delivering on every promises I made. My leadership will be characterized by sobriety, inclusivity, and insightful approach to the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for Banisa. Together, we shall work towards a future where every voice is heard and every aspiration is within reach. Honorable Madam Speaker, I must at this juncture draw the urgent attention of this House to a matter of grave concern that is currently afflicting my constituency and indeed the entire Mandera County and Northeastern region. That's the devastating drought crisis. Our people, predominantly pastoralists, are facing unprecedented hardship. Water sources have dried up. Livestock, which are the lifeline of our communities, are perishing at an alarming rate. And families are struggling to secure even the most basic sustenance. The humanitarian situation there is dire, with millions across northern Kenya facing worsening food insecurity. Madam Speaker, as I commend the ongoing effort, I also wish to acknowledge the specific intervention already in motion. The Mandera County government is actively engaged in water tracking to over 266 sites using 33 water bowsers, and emergency drilling and repair of boreholes are underway, with 39 boreholes drilled to alleviate the congestion. But that is a drop in the ocean. Honorable Madam Speaker, I must at this juncture, Honorable Madam Speaker, the national government through the State Department of Special Programs has distributed 15,000 bags of rice and 13,000 bags of beans to vulnerable families, and the Hunger Safety Network program is providing regular cash transfers to 22,000 households. Furthermore, non-governmental organizations like Rasida are implementing a 191.5 million mobile cash transfer program targeting 8,000 households, and the Kenya Red Cross is providing integrated health, nutrition, and wash outreaches. Madam Speaker, we were on the ground last week with Ali Roba Foundation, and we distributed a county-wide drought relief program with the help of special programs and other well-wishers for the coming Ramadan period. I stand before this House today to make a fervent rallying call. I urge this Parliament and indeed the entire government to concert all the effort and resources toward tackling this escalating crisis. We must move beyond piecemeal interventions and declare the drought in northern Kenya a national disaster without further delay. This declaration will unlock the necessary national and international support required to mitigate the suffering and protect livelihoods and implement sustainable long-term solutions. Our people cannot wait. Their lives, their dignity, and their future depend on our swift and decisive action. Madam Speaker, my vision for the people of Banisa is one of progress, resilience, and equitable development. I am committed to championing initiatives that will enhance access to education, improve healthcare services, develop critical infrastructure, and foster economic empowerment for our youth and women. Madam Speaker, I believe that with focused leadership and collaborative effort, Banisa constituency will not only overcome its current challenge, but it will also emerge as a beacon of prosperity within Mandera County and indeed our great nation. Madam Speaker, let me take also this opportunity to wish our Muslim brothers across the country Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah guide our deliberation and bless our effort. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Are you finished, Honorable Member?
I'm done for now.
Thank you. Before we get to the next speaker, allow me to recognize in the public gallery Kaani Lions Girls High School, Girls, Kathiani constituency, Machakos County. Join me in welcoming them to the House of Parliament to observe the proceedings of the House. The next person, Honorable Amombi, are you on this? No. Honorable Njeri, are you on this? Honorable Basil, you've already spoken? Okay, you're still on. Honorable Bishop Kosgei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Contributing to this motion this afternoon related to the protection of our rivers in this country, Madam Speaker, it is a crucial undertaking by any country and any civilization to protect its rivers and wetlands for many, many reasons, as always outlined by environmental activists and us as citizens of our country. We have few rivers in this country, 5 major rivers and some other permanent rivers. And included among the leading rivers, River Tana River and Athi River, are some of the main arteries of our waters in this nation. Paying attention to this means we are protecting that is related to the livelihood of our people and our planet. Madam Speaker, I think it is not only a responsibility of the government, but the onus is on the government to inform the citizens that the people themselves be part of the protection of our environment, and one is about water. One of the greatest menaces is industrialization, however good it is in terms of providing job opportunities for our people. It has contributed to the pollution of our waters in various areas, and especially when we are building industrial undertakings in towns where many people live. Poor management of our sewerage system, so not to mention more. Madam Speaker, we should use this opportunity to address and establish a long-term program to not only add more forests cover, but also to make sure that along the river banks, we maintain what could be the highest campaign to make it clean in order to preserve water and also preserve its quality. With that, Madam Speaker, I support.
My mic is not working. The next chance will go to the Honorable Member from Mbeere North, Wamuthende.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's not my maiden speech. I've made contributions to this House, and protecting our rivers really is sacred. In fact, I would draw your attention to page 12, which really is alarming on the levels of heavy metals, and the attention should be on lead, because lead has very negative effects on health. In fact, if Kenyans even browse now and check the effects of lead on health, we are going to have overflowing requests for compensation. So the recommended or allowable limit is 15 micrograms per liter. And here we have 3 to 98. In fact, if you compute using 3 milligrams per ml, it's actually an insane number. That means the amount of lead that is getting to the people downstream on Athi River is actually unacceptable. And the authorities that have been mandated by our constitution to do this, to regulate, to ensure water quality, to ensure there is no discharge to our rivers, these officers actually need to be prosecuted. If you just look briefly at the effects of lead, even on the reproductive health, to men, low sperm count, to women, premature births, stillbirths, it's actually a neurotoxin, you know, and it causes irreversible damage to the nervous system. So what we are seeing in our hospitals, in our casualties in these areas, as per this report, can actually be directly attributed to the water quality, which is getting to our people. And I repeat, these officers must be held accountable, because part of the petition is to seek compensation, and the officers who have been sitting and watching this happening, they need to be held to account. You cannot allow sewer, the effluents, discharged in our rivers, and we have people downstream who depend on these rivers for their livelihoods. I come from Bere North, which is quite similar to Mwala constituency in terms of the environment, and I currently am facing a challenge with one of the main rivers, which is Ena. We're not a lot to do with pollution, but sand harvesting, water harvesting, water pumping upstream. And this is of great concern, and I must say I support this petition. The public, the people affected in Mwala constituency should be compensated. The officers who have been allowing this need to be held to account, and NEMA, water resource authorities, they need to explain why they are allowing this to happen. With that, Honorable Speaker, I And I want to repeat, the quantities of lead in the river are unacceptable. In fact, something needs to be done urgently. This cannot be allowed to continue. I support.
Thank you. Before we get the next member, allow me to recognize in the speakers gallery this afternoon learners and teachers from Ikudha Boys Senior School from Kitui South, Kitui County. Welcome to the House of Parliament, to this House of Parliament as you observe our proceedings. Honorable members, join me in welcoming them to the House. The next speaker will be the member, Honorable Irene Mayaka, nominated member. On in the next one, Millie, the Minority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I wish, first of all, to recognize the presence of a student in the House, especially the young girls in the House. And I want to tell you that if you actually look down here, you can see very many women in the House. And not the bad girls, them they are good girls, I'm the only bad one. Madam Speaker, and we just want to encourage them that they know that they can make it. When we were growing up, some of us, if you came into Parliament, there would only be 1 or 2 women. So it's actually an amazing thing that now you can see women in the House, and it's something to give you hope that you can get here. Madam Speaker, I just want to say that I want to agree with the Honourable Member that the issue of conservation of our rivers and preservation of our rivers is a very big issue. And Madam Speaker, I know that as a House, we put in a lot of money towards conservation and cleaning and reservation. And Madam Speaker, sometimes I wonder what or where the money goes to. Because, and even for the people who are supposed to ensure that there is no pollution, the agencies, we have more than one agency that does this work. Perhaps one of the things that we need to do is to reduce these agencies so that we don't have duplicity, because then you don't have anybody to hold accountable. Madam Speaker, even if you don't even need to go to Athi River, just walk even within Nairobi River itself. Madam Speaker, I know a friend of mine who bought a house right next to Nairobi River and actually been forced to sell it at a throwaway price because of the smell of Nairobi River. Yet if you look at this house, the amount of money that we put every financial year towards regeneration of Nairobi River, it's an embarrassment, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I know tomorrow we'll be talking, so I don't want to preempt debate, but we'll be talking about the issues of concern that have emanated from the oversight role of the Senate. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, that even if you look at even our own oversight role, and as Parliament we try to do well, but Madam Speaker, the issue of corruption actually then stops us from realizing what we need to get as a house. We hear the anti-corruption agency speaking now and again, threatening. But why can't we see prosecution, especially in issues of corruption, serious issues of corruption? I mean, we want to treat people with kid gloves over issues that are actually bringing this country down. So, Madam Speaker, as a person with an environmental law background, I want to say that it is indeed embarrassing and it is a shame what we are doing. And sometimes I even ask myself, what more can we do as a house? If you are expected to put in money, we are putting money. If you are expected to oversight, we have oversighted. And sometimes agencies outside the house are the ones that are failing us. And I think maybe Parliament needs to have stronger and sharper teeth and make recommendations sometimes that would even require that we terminate services of people who are not performing if the executive is not brave enough to terminate people where they are not performing their tasks. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I support.
Thank you. Next speaker on this will be the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Boss.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to lend my voice to this very important public petition. But even as we speak about it, it should not have taken a member of the public to bring a petition relating to pollution of Athi River. Because we are not just talking about Athi River alone. All our water bodies across the country are in danger. What we should actually be asking is asking the National Environment Management Authority. We should be asking the Public Complaints Committee on Environment to take action against the polluters. Right now, we already have regulations and polluters are now paying. Any company that is involved with any form of pollution is required to put deposits of certain amounts of money. And that money can be used to help clean up our rivers, but also to be able to have testing, constant testing, to check the levels of pollution in our rivers and also the level of chemicals in our rivers. But our rivers are not safe if we continue to use certain harmful chemicals and pesticides in our farms, because whatever is used to spray in the farmlands eventually will be washed away into the water bodies. And it will eventually make its way to our livestock, to our food, and continues to endanger our health. So this should be a situation where the Public Petitions Committee, I do hope that they did summon the National Environmental Management Authority and the Cabinet Secretary for Environment so that they can give us a full raft of measures that they are taking to ensure that they prevent pollution of not just Athi River, but all rivers and other water bodies in the country, and have a robust system of ensuring that there is constant checking on this. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I support the adoption of the report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Shakil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, to allow me this few minutes. Madam Speaker, I'm the Member of Parliament of Kisumu East. Our lake has 20 times the PD level that is required, 20 times. Our efforts to get the Ministry of Environment in efforts to stop the pollution by industries has gone nowhere. There is no fish in Lake Victoria where when as a child, I used to be able to fish and you had to put your rod in and about 5 minutes you got a fish. Nowadays, there is no such fish. Particularly, Madam Chair, the problems also recur from the rivers that are feeding Lake Victoria, Namasaria and Kibos. The situation of Kibos River is so dire, same as with Namasaria, that even the cattle no longer drink from there. It smells and it is totally it cannot be, even animals are not drinking from that water. So my constituents are suffering, the animals are dying, yet pollution continues to take place. The industries and the housing, the developments on that river, there is one on the Namasaria Bridge that sends raw sewage into the river. There are some industries that are also doing this. And I feel that it is very important that I give my comments at the same time as the one for Nairobi River. Our rivers in Kisumu East and Kisumu County are in terrible shape, and so is our lake, and it will affect us all. And I remember former president, the late President Moi, telling me at one time that he saw a report that in 30 or 50 years, we are not going to have a lake. We are going to have a big sewer in Lake Victoria. So we need the Ministry of Environment to pick up their efforts, and we start in the revitalization of the river, Kibos, Namasaria, and Lake Victoria. Thank you very much for your time, Madam Speaker.
Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this report, the adoption of this report by the Petitions Committee on pollution of River Athi. Honorable Speaker, River Athi, before it gets to the Indian Ocean, goes through a number of counties where many people have suffered over the years because of pollution. And I must take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to note the good work that is being done under the Ministry of Urban Planning, or the State Department for Urban Planning, on the cleanup and rehabilitation of the Nairobi River corridor. Because part of that work covers the water that is polluted into the Athi. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the beautiful work that has been done, especially in the eastern part of Nairobi in Eastlands, that is how to start protecting our rivers, Honorable Speaker. And in many jurisdictions around the world, in most of our capital cities around the world, riverfront properties or properties fronting the river are the most prime locations. But the case has been in Kenya that all the properties fronting the river, from Kileshwa, Kirichwa, to the stream that flows through Kileleshwa, and how they all combine now to form Nairobi River, onto the Athi, because of pollution, all those properties are the least valued properties. But the work that the President has put in the cleanup of Nairobi River and protecting all our rivers from pollution, Honorable Speaker, speaks volumes to how you can increase the value of even properties by simply taking care of the environment around the rivers and the riparian protection of the riparian reserves, Honorable Speaker. right from Nairobi all the way down to the ocean where the Athi joins the Indian Ocean, Honorable Speaker. Those people who live downstream in parts of Ukambani, many of them have suffered over the years from diseases that were avoidable had we stemmed the pollution upstream. And I must commend the work that the President has done through the restoration program of Nairobi River that touches on Athi. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Shakir is reminding me that the last time we saw such a cleanup was a small work that was done around Kijabe Street, from Museum Hill down Kijabe to Grogon area by the late C.S. Mishuki. And you can imagine what would have happened today if that work that Honorable Mishuki started had continued. And we must thank that after C.S. Mishuki, President William Ruto has now come in to carry on with that great work. And we are not just protecting the environment, Honorable Speaker, but also fortressing the health of very many people who live downstream and all the way to the ocean, and even people who don't live in those areas, but are partakers of the fish that is fished in the, in the Indian Ocean, Honorable Speaker, fish that is eating a lot of garbage out of the pollution upstream. Honorable Speaker, some years back, those in Makueni remember the unfortunate incident of oil spillage in the river. And again, this speaks to the need to have a Kenya pipeline company that is efficient and that adheres to the highest standards of conveyancing of fuel. And that, Honorable Speaker, is only possible if you have a company like Kenya Pipeline that is well-resourced. And the initial public offering that has been done speaks to this issue, Honorable Speaker, that you have a company now that is professionally managed without the bureaucracies of running it as a government-owned enterprise, Honorable Speaker, that you bring in private sector expertise and private sector resources to be able to resource Kenya Pipeline in a way that will ensure that the pipeline right from the refinery in Mombasa or from the port in Mombasa where they load product all the way to Kisumu and onward to the landlocked countries that neighbor us, this pipeline is secure, and where it is bypassing the river, whether it is Athi or any other rivers up country, it is not spilling fuel into our water bodies, Honorable Speaker, so that we protect our water bodies from pollution and protect the health